Okay, so we're going to work on the Tyrannosaurus Rex part of the tail. The tail has been made out of 2 pieces of cardboard, which I cut out the profile of the tail and then I glued the longest seam, and then stuffed it with some paper and then glued the other side after making it bow out. So it gave it this kind of diamond shape, but oval shape. And then at the end, what I did, instead of using foam this time, is I cut out 4 pieces of paper or cardboard and put them in to strengthen that, and then attached the counterweight post as a wire. And then if you can see it right there, you can see the hanging wire. See, right there. So okay, yeah, it's hard to see up against there. There it is. Okay. So now what I was just going to do was got my mixture made up, and I was going to just cover the weight and then wrap it. The main thing I do this for is just in case somebody decides to dismantle it, at least it's not so easily removed and taken off by a kid or something like that. So you always have to worry about those sort of things. And all I'm doing now is just wrapping it so that it has sort of a jacket on it. Doesn't have to be pretty, but I try to just make it streamlined in the end, because when you put it into the knotter, you don't want it catching on anything inside. And flatten it out. And overall, that's how it looks. We can add a little more to it. And with each layer that you put on another layer of the mixture of the flour, water, and Elmer's glue. And wrap it with a piece of paper. And that also adds weight to the tail. You'd be surprised by accumulating the paper onto the tail how much extra you begin to get. So that all gets worked out in the end, that you have to do the fine balancing, because even the paint, when you add the paint onto this, it'll do that. So now what I'm going to just do, cover the tail with put that down on the spot for a moment, and then I'm just going to take this, and this is going to be the skin on it, and I'm going to cover it in stuff. On one side, even though we have it on the other, I like for the first coat to get a little thick. It just gives it a little more strength, and from then on you can start using like a thinned out version of the glue, the paper mache stuff. Okay. We have it now, it's coated on one side. Take it, drape it with a little overhang. Try to work from the top down. Pull it. Depends on how wrinkly you want the skin. This has an interesting pattern on it, that it, you know, has grooves. Don't worry about that if it's a little long, one side or not. And then I'm just going to fold on this side. I'll fold that into this. I have to add, I never put any glue on the inside of that. Wasn't thinking ahead. But you can always just go back, add it. And on that side, pull that down a little. If you pull real hard, you get rid of the wrinkles. So depending on whether you want them or you don't want them, is how much strength you're going to have to put into pulling on the tail part. Now, with this part, you could either, what I'm going to do is tear it just slightly long. I don't want a huge overlap, but you do want some overlap. So here, now that that's torn, what I'm going to do is open up where the tear is and add a little more glue right there, and then fold it, pick one direction, fold it over. That side first, into there, and I'm going to fold it over on this side, on the other side. Okay, folding it up and around. And again, this is the first coating, so you're going to have other opportunities probably to coat it. Always kind of pays to have a section where you can hold on to it. That's not going to be too sticky. So now we have this lower part which didn't get any paper because our size was wrong. So you go a little and do a little overlap onto the old paper that's there. and there's enough stickiness. And then what you do is put that down for a second. Take a piece, tear it. So for this is going to probably work out just right for the bottom. Measure. See, what I did was I saw the spot that was missing, and I got the piece that's about as long, and then just put it to there. Alright, so I'm going to just put the the material onto like we did for the first piece. And the torn edges, the reason for the torn edges is it helps to blend the two things together. You have straight edges, you might want straight edges, but if you have them, they show up. It looks a little too unnatural, right? So that's our missing spot, our piece. Put it on there. Get it worked onto the edge first, and over, like that, and up, around, and down. And we're going to brush it down. Get the glue to bite to each other. Now on this side. Depending again how wrinkly or smooth you want it. That's how taut you're going to pull it. Nice wrinkle going there. We'll kind of smooth it out. If you dab it like this, you get wrinkly texture. See the wrinkly texture imposed over the other texture. And wrap around the bottom again. Wrap it around. Try to get a little symmetry when you do the wrinkling. That's what I do anyway. You don't have to. You're a dinosaur. Now what we're going to do, we're going to put it back in the model. It's going to be, well, we'll see how much heavier it is on one side than the other. take you over there and show it to you. You know, it's on the model. But it's real heavy, so that means we're going to have to add a lot of weight to get it to come up like that. This is the preliminaries. Mm-hmm.